U.S. President Joe Biden signed a decree allocating a new $755 million military aid package to Ukraine. A memorandum was published by which Biden delegated to U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken the authority to allocate up to $775 million for defense items and services of the Department of Defense, as well as military education and training of the Ukrainian military. According to American journalist Caitlin Dornbos, who cites a Pentagon official, the new package includes ammunition for HIMARS, 16,105 howitzers and 36,000 artillery shells for them, 15 Scan Eagle drones, 40 MRAPs mine and ambush protected armored vehicles, high-speed anti-radiation missiles, 1,000 TOW missile systems, 1,000 additional Javelin anti-armor systems, 2,000 anti-armor shells. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky thanked Biden for providing new assistance to our state. I highly appreciate the provision of another $775 million U.S. military aid package. Thanks to the U.S. President for this decision. We have taken another important step to defeat the aggressor. Ukraine will be free, he wrote. Ukraine, as part of the Army of Drones project, has already received about 100 large long-range drones, and the same number is expected in the coming months. Direct speech. Now we have almost 5,000 kilometers of the front line. There is also the depth of the front, which we conditionally divided into 4 levels. The first line is up to 3 kilometers, the second, third and fourth 60, 70 and 120 kilometers, respectively. So, for a 3-kilometer zone, we need up to 10,000 drones. These are small birds that can be used in everyday life. They are needed for urban combat and reconnaissance over short distances. Other lines require large drones flying long distances. We have already contracted more than 200 such drones. Approximately as many of them are needed so that our military can carry out tactical tasks on the front line. They begin to arrive gradually. About 100 pieces are already in Ukraine. I think that by the end of October, beginning of November, we will have all the contracted drones. Details. Fedorov noted that Ukraine needs to constantly maintain this number of drones. That is, no matter how many of them are destroyed by the enemy, we must ensure that they can be upgraded quickly. To do this, we are constantly looking for opportunities to buy these drones, repair old ones, open hubs for their restoration and, of course, train pilots on an ongoing basis. So far, we have managed to raise about 855 million Ukrainian hryvnias for the purchase of new UAVs, he said. The United States of America and China are preparing a major normalization level agreement under Richard Nixon and Mao Zedong. In it, the states will determine the fate of Russia. This opinion was shared on TSN by Russian lawyer and opposition leader Mark Feigin. We saw this after Pelosi's visit and on the eve of it. Biden talked with the president of China for 2 days. These are leaks that go in the Western press. Attack Taiwan, and we will agree on a trade agreement. It seems to me that this is a much larger agreement, somewhat reminiscent of Nixon and Mao when they agreed. By the way, Kissinger was the architect of this agreement. But you can watch Kissinger's last interview, where he says that it is necessary to negotiate with China. And how can you negotiate with China, except at the expense of Russia? Feigin said. According to the oppositionist, China is interested in weakening the Russian Federation, but not disappearing. In this case, the aggressor will turn into a territory for the Celestial Empire, which can be used in every possible way. This will be a kind of prize for China, on the basis of everything. Therefore, I tend to think that it is Russia that is the subject of conversation. Can you imagine that Biden and Xi Jinping's conversations do not concern the war in Ukraine? Can you imagine that Washington will not use all levers, including relations with China, in order to increase pressure on Moscow? I just can't imagine it, Feigin continued. He also recalled that after the full-scale invasion of the Russian Federation into Ukraine, there were rumors about the supply of weapons to Russia from China. But there was no military assistance from the Middle Kingdom, which means that the platform for negotiations between the United States and China remained. According to the Russian lawyer, Washington and Beijing will hold talks within the framework of 2 summits, the G20 and ASEAN. Feigin believes that 2 meetings can take place, and then there will be a demonstration trip of Biden to China. Recall that on August 16, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine Dmytro Kuleba spoke about the neutral position of the PRC regarding Russia's war against our state. In the Celestial Empire, they echo the Kremlin propaganda narratives, but do not support the Russian Federation on a practical level.